Patrick Bet-David of the Patrick Bet-David podcast has once again slammed a lot of these influencer types. I can only imagine that he's referring to Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Dan Bilzerian, Dave Smith. The list can go on and on and on. Even so-called Professor Ian Carroll at the moment, with their continual attacks on Israel. Patrick Bet-David, I will show you the video in just a moment, says that a lot of this stuff that has been going on, a lot of the attacks are considerably lazy. It is kind of trendy to beat on Israel at the moment, considering what happened in Gaza and then now with Iran. So if you've got all of these so-called influencers like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, that already hate Israel, they already hate the Jews, and now because Israel attacked Iran, because of the Iranian regime being an Islamic regime, a very oppressive regime, and it's rather interesting to me that you have all of these influencers that recently came back from Qatar that somehow decided to change their viewpoints on Israel, because if you look back not that long ago, I think it was only a couple of years ago now, Candace Owens was actually on the side of Israel. Now she has done a complete 180 and has absolutely loathed on Israel, and to the point where it seems like her brain has completely broke because of it. She's coming out with the most ridiculous and the most insane things. I mean, I made a video about it yesterday. There are so many people. Even Tucker Carlson looks like he's a very defeated man. I'll be making another video about that later on, to the point where Tucker Carlson is going after Trump because Trump supports Israel. So Tucker supports Trump, but now because Trump supports Israel, Tucker is slamming Trump. It's kind of crazy to see how Tucker, who claims to be a Christian, Candace Owens claims to be a Christian, they are going so far against Israel. And it's so cheap. It is like the ultimate form of low IQ to side with Islam versus Israel. Low form of IQ. You don't even know the problem is these people don't even realize just how bad Islam is. But yet they think Israel is worse. Are you kidding me? So ask yourself this question. Why are Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and so many others, so-called American first influencer types, right, panicking at the thought of the Iranian regime collapsing? In just a few days, they have launched into full-blown fear-mongering, claiming that Iran's fall would somehow spell disaster for America, warning of war, chaos, and collapse. But no one spreads that kind of hysteria unless they have something to lose. If the regime falls, it's not bad news for America. It's bad news for them. We can all guess why. Exactly. That was from Awesome Jew. And this is from the Misfit Patriot. Candace, Tucker, Dave Smith, Ian Carroll, Russell Brand. None of them are talking about the horrific slaughter of Christians, over 200 of them in Nigeria. But yet they love the fear-mongering of Iran falling, saying that if Iran falls, somehow that means America is going to fall as well. That to me is insane. So it's no wonder that you have Patrick Bet-David, who I believe is a very honest and sincere man most of the time. Obviously, I've said that I have my differences. You can't agree with everything that everyone, or not everyone, but you can't agree with everything that one person says, right? So we're definitely going to have some disagreements on certain things, but I guess I can always come back to the place of he is very genuine and sincere, and he calls things out for the way he sees them, and this is one of them. Have a watch of this.
So it's such an easy market right now to blame everything on Israel. It's lazy, and you're easily being manipulated, where you have to find a way to logically decide what's going on and understand everybody's motives. Everybody here doing content, giving their opinions, giving everything and emotional. There's guys that are bashing Israel because their investor was Jewish and they are now filing bankruptcy and losing everything. But the easy person to blame is the Jew because you were a bad businessman. That's not the Jews' fault. That's your bad businessman's fault. Okay? This is the part where, you have to try to find a way, even if your favorite influencers in the world get you emotional to act like a neurotic, freaking crazy person. That's their job. The job of a great content creator is to be an element of showmanship. But you can't let that showmanship cause you to get so irrational that you're suddenly acting like a lost cause and you can't think for yourself. No, like right now, even here today, he said something. Now, what are you talking about? And then Vinny said something. Hey, oh, shit, that's right. What do you think, Vinny? But it's like, so what position are you? You have to kind of play that for yourself because you don't know 100% everything. Nobody does.
Zero.
You're not in there negotiating. We're all just speculating. All of us, me, everybody, and including everybody else out there that's in the space. Left, right, center, everyone's speculating and then adding their own opinion. Just know your opinion doesn't mean it's a fact. That's my opinion. This is what I think. I could be right or wrong, and then you get to go and say, oh, shit, they're right more often than they're wrong. And the other guys are more wrong than often than they're right. And then you judge it. Totally fine. That's how the market works.
I mustn't be a great content creator because I don't have, I guess, what Patrick Bet-David is referring to, this element of showmanship, this, being really provocative. I, on the other hand, love to go towards the truth. Can I make this rational? Can I make sense of this? And if I can't make sense of it, then I will call it out for what it actually is. And Patrick is right. It's their job to be provocative because they are getting paid to do it. All of these so-called podcasters and experts nowadays that have an opinion, and you're allowed to have an opinion. If you've got an opinion on a variety of different subjects, fantastic. I'm more than happy to listen to you. If you've got an opinion about Israel, usually that opinion is a negative one because for whatever reason, they're siding with Islam. If you are not siding with Israel, you are siding with Islam. And I know that people are going, oh, but Jay, what Israel's doing in Gaza at the moment, what's the alternative? What is literally the alternative? That the terrorist organization still exists in Gaza and still controls the people in Gaza? Would you prefer that? Oh, I want Israel to stop. No. You want Israel to succeed because it has your best interest at heart. If you really think about it, this is not a battle between Gaza or the Palestinian people in Gaza. This is a real battle between good versus evil, and good is going to win. And all these influencers that have a bent against Israel are just being paid off, and they are the useful idiots of Islam. I've said that many times. And now that you've got someone like Patrick Bet-David, and all credit to him for actually being this bold to say something like this. It takes a lot of guts to actually say something like this, knowing full well that these massive influencers that are bashing Israel have a huge following. They've moved vulnerable minds over to the side of bashing Israel as well. And guess what? Patrick's going, this Jew hating is manipulation. It's lazy because it's so easy to blame a Jew for everything. All the bad stuff. Let's blame a Jew. And I've said this to a couple of my mates as well that are like, oh, Israel is, responsible for a lot of horrible things in the world. They may be responsible for some horrible things in the world, not everything. Israel is not involved in everything. That is a disingenuous and a fallacy to even claim that sort of thing. And you got to be very, very careful, right? It's intellectually lazy to just automatically go, oh, it's Israel's fault. America's doomed. If they enter into the war with Iran. No, the problem is people have been hijacked by lots of these influencers that have been more than likely paid off by the Islamic regimes to go, we need you to side with Islam. We need you to make Islam out to be like it is a peaceful religion. It's anything but. So, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, if you've got a number, you've sold your soul. If you're willing to give up your life, your integrity, everything for the sake of $1, that's a problem. If you're not willing to tell the truth at the cost of your life, and believe you me, Tommy Robinson, the reason why I follow the man is he's given up his entire life. He's lost his life. Aside from death, he's lost everything else to tell the truth because he wouldn't bend. He wouldn't bow to the almighty dollar. So if your price is not my life, you have a price that you can be bought and sold. And that's a problem. So once again, don't be intellectually lazy and just continuously bash Israel and blame Israel for everything wrong. It's in your best interest, my friends, that Israel succeeds in this because you don't want the alternative to win. Mark my words. It'd be a hell of a lot worse. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.